I'm actually back here, and I did make one little mistake here that I just noticed. So what we're gonna do is fix it real quick. So go ahead and double click in your test one folder, UMP Customs Armor test one folder. Double click your Daedric Torso F0. And we gotta fix two things real quick. A couple mistakes that I noticed that happened. First thing we want to do is select the bra, and we're gonna open up the drop down for it. And we're going to go to the BS Lighting Shader property. We want to make this texture double-sided, so we're going to, in the Properties window, you selected the BS Lighting Shader property. You're going to scroll down till you find Shader Flags 2. Double-click anywhere in the values, get your little arrow to pop up, and set it to SF double-sided. Alright. And the other thing we have to fix on this bra is the texture address. So go ahead and do another drop down, select the BS texture shader set, and then drop down the textures. Select the address for the texture and double click here where it says program files. What you want to do is right here where you see textures, you want to delete everything before that. So it just says textures, close, UMP customs, and then the name of your texture file. Then click off of it. And you want to do the same thing to this one. Double click in the address and where you see textures, just before the letter T, you're going to delete everything before that. Alright, I don't know why it had the whole address in there. I've never done that before. Maybe because I copy and pasted to the address bar. Maybe if you just browse to your texture file, it won't do that. Either way, it should only say textures. Shouldn't have the whole address before it. Or, if someone else wanted to use your armor, it wouldn't work for them. Now, the texture won't show in here, but don't worry, it's going to show in game. It's just a little error that I made. So, now we want to do the same exact steps for the undergarment. So, we're going to select it in the window so we make sure we have the right one. In Tri-Shape, use a little drop-down window, go to the BS Lighting Shader property, scroll down to see Shader Flags 2. Double click in the values to get the little arrow to pop up and select SF double-sided, and then you can click off of it. Now open up the drop down for the BS Lighting Shader property, select BS Shader Texture Set, drop down the textures and fix the address. Remember, click just before the T and then drag over and delete everything before that T. And do the same thing for the the normal map. Click just before the T and delete everything before it by dragging your mouse over. Alright, there we go. That's going to work a lot better if you ever want to upload your armor to the Nexus. So now that you've taken care of all that, we're going to go ahead and file, save as. We're going to save it again as Daedric Torso F_0 in the Daedric Test 1 folder. Click Save. Do you want to replace it? Yes. Alright, we can close this window out. Close it. And in our UMP Custom Armors, Data, Meshes, Armor, Daedric Test 1, we're going to select the Daedric Torso F0 that we just modified. We're going to click Control, Copy, and we're going to paste it into our Daedric folder in game. Remember, if you close these windows out, we have the shortcuts right up here. You just double click Daedric, select the window, and hit Control V. Do you want to replace it? Yes. If you had anything in there, say yes. Alright, we're ready to test this out in game, so let's go ahead and do that. Double click your Skyrim. Alrighty, I'm going to select load right here. Load up my test folder, test game. Alright, now you're going to run over and you're going to select your box here you have dropped on the ground. Scroll down the list till you find Daedric Armor, which is right here. I'm going to pull it out, put it in my inventory, and open up my inventory, and I'm going to equip it and check to see if there's any errors. Alrighty. Looks pretty good. The textures are appearing. Red is always a bright color in Skyrim. It's just one of those colors that brightens up. You can see that my normal map is working as best it can without an alpha property, but this is just, beginners level custom armors. We can get into all that alpha stuff later on. Works better, you can see stuff better in the shade with red. I should have picked a different color. There's also other ways that an alpha map can fix that with the red being so brightly shaded. This is like a vanilla BS lighting shader property setting too, so certain custom textures are going to do stuff like that. Well, it looks pretty good, you know. It's looking nice. Let's test to see if any of the vertexes aren't where they're supposed to be. So I equip a weapon and I'm going to swing it. Make sure nothing's stuck to that arm over there. No, everything's good on that arm. Well, let me open up my inventory and test it on the other arm here. So I'm going to put it on my other arm and whoops. Swing my weapon. Yep, everything's sticking good. There's that energy. There she goes. Yeah, it looks good. The undergarment looks like it's sticking to the body real well. Nothing's poking through. A good test that you can do is kind of face your character towards the sun, put your camera on the ground, and crouch to see if your boobies break through the armor. You know, this is just another good test that I do is I stick my camera on the ground and I crouch like this to see if anything pops through, and nothing does. So this armor looks great. We're ready to go ahead and start setting up a weight slider for it. So it can be used on different body sizes. So let's go ahead and do that. Exit out of the game. Quit. Go to desktop. Alright. Now I never want to write over this. This has fixed textures in this file. The BS, all that work that we just did with the BS lighting shader property, we don't have to do that again whenever we create the weight slider. So we're going to take this in our test one. We're going to control copy it. Then we're going to click back one, or you can click this little back to Daedric, go back one, and we're going to right click in the Daedric folder and create a new folder. We're going to call this one final. Alright, we're going to go into final and we're going to control V and paste our good version with the into here. So now we're going to open up Autodesk 3ds Max and start working with weight sliders, which always fun stuff. I'll tell you, sometimes weight sliders can be a real pain in the butt. Some authors don't even release their armor with weight sliders because they're such a hassle to deal with. You know, you have to move all the vertices, then test it out in game to make sure the vertices don't explode all over the place. Welding vertices works really well for that, keeping it from exploding, but it also can screw the mesh up, like the appearance if you've done a lot of smoothing, and that's probably what's going to happen with the upper piece of our armor since we smoothed this like 3 times. Anyways, let's go to the 3ds Max symbol, drop it down, go ahead and select import. In the import list, let's find our UMP custom armors. Go to data, meshes, armor, Daedric, final, and select Daedric torso F0 and click open. Alright, now we're ready to import it, so let's make sure we have import skeleton selected so it comes in with the skeleton, and select import. Give it a minute. Alright, there it goes. It's ready to go. So now we want to set this up and get it ready to be expanded. Always tricky stuff. We know our body is good because we just put the UMP, we put this armor on this fresh UMP body, so it's going to work just fine for right now. But let's go ahead and go up to the little modify symbol, select editable mesh, drop it down with the body selected, and we're just going to throw a smooth on it and set the smooth to 2. Now we're going to select the undergarment. We're going to go to the editable mesh. We're going to see if welding the vertices screws it up, so select vertexes and drag over all the vertices and spam the weld in edit geometry as many times as you have to get that window. Alright, that one's ready to be exported. And let's select the top piece for the bra. Select editable mesh, select vertices, drag over the whole thing, and let's see what happens when we weld this. Sometimes these like to get all messed up. If we can weld it, we will. If we can't, we won't, and we'll pray to God that when we make the weight slider it doesn't blow up. So under weld, hit selected. No, it's screwed up. So if this happens to you, hit Control Z. If it doesn't happen, go ahead and weld yours. We're not going to weld it. We're going to export it without welding and pray to God that the vertices don't go all over the place. If it does, we'll have to take some steps to try to make it not when we weld it. So we're going to deselect vertex, and we're just going to have to throw a smooth on this and deal with it. So go to the drop down list for the modifier, find smooth. Or you know what? Before we do this, let's try to weld it and then throw a smooth on it. So let's select it, our editable mesh, go to vertices. With everything, all the vertexes should still be selected. Let's weld it and see if smooth fixes this. And go to the drop down list and throw a smooth on it. Maybe the smooth will re-smooth it. Maybe we'll get lucky too. Nope, it didn't. So hit Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Alright, there, it's gone. Do that until it goes away and it's not like it was. Alright, so just go to the editable mesh and put a smooth on it. Set it to a 2. And we're going to export it like that. And we did this so, at least we can prevent this from exploding. And hopefully this won't explode. We'll find out when we get it in game for, to test the weight slider. Alright, in the upper left hand corner, we'll drop down the list here. We're going to select export. We're going to go to our UMP Custom Armors folder. So UMP Custom Armors, Data, Meshes, Armor, Daedric, Final. Well, we want to save it as a NIF, so we're going to drop down our Save As type, NIF, and then select the Daedric Torso F_0, and click Save. Do you want to replace it? Yes, we do. Alright, then we're going to delete weld vertices and select Export. Give it a moment. Okay, now we are ready to bring in the big girl. So we're going to select the body and then press Delete on the keyboard. Alright, from the 3DS symbol, go to Import. And we want to find our base body, so UMP Custom Armors, Data, Meshes, Base Body Mesh, Female Body _1, and select Open. Well, we already have a skeleton, you can see, so we don't want the skeleton, so deselect that. All your settings should be the same as mine, and select Import. Alright, we got a lot of moving to do here, so I'm going to select the editable mesh for the big body. I'm going to drop down the modifier list, and I'm going to select smooth, so when we export this body it doesn't screw anything up. And let's go ahead and start working with the top first. I'm going to editable mesh, and I'm going to move some vertices. Looks like I need to move some vertices. I can click off to the side to deselect all those vertices that we had selected. And I'm going to go like this, and from the left view pane, kind of grab a bunch in the front. Right click on my screen, select move, but I need some soft selection because there's no yellow, so it wouldn't move right. So drop down my soft selection, use soft selection, set to like a 10. That's good. Alright, with this, so I can see the front of my body in the view pane where I'm moving, I'm going to move in the left view pane. I'm going to bring it out some. Alright, that's not out too far, just out a little bit so I can get it a little better out. And I'm going to come in a little closer and try to find a vertice in here. There's one. If you can't see the vertice, try to click in there until you get one, and you'll know you got one because all the ones around it will highlight. I'm going to pull that out on the XY to make it fit the boob. Right there, it needs selected some, so I'm going to select right there, move it out. And you guys know the whole process for a little while here. It's just all about shaping this around the boobies. And I'm going to do the same thing in here. There. I know I got it because things around it went yellow. And I'm just going to drag it out. Alright. Get another angle. See, it looks all good there. Let's take a look in the back. Everything looks good. It doesn't look like anything else needs done. Alright, I'm going to continue to work with mine, and you continue to work with yours. This video is out of time, so I'll see you in the next video, and we'll continue moving these out for the weight slider. So I'll see you in a sec.